I think this was supposed to be the first topic for us to start with, goal setting. Yeah, because it's like the core of everything. It leads into other things. Yeah. So welcome back to the channel. In today's discussion, in this episode, let me be specific. In this episode, we're going to talk about goal settings. Like, the very first point that leads us into other avenues of our lives. Like, once you have a goal set, you can proceed to achieve other things. Yeah. So we're going to have a brief explanation from the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. At least there is a section that just expounds on that. Yeah, Lisa, take us through.
So let your goal be specific. Let your goal be measurable. Let your goal be achievable. Let your goal be relevant to who you are, and let your goal be time sensitive.
Time sensitive. Examples?
For example, a specific goal could be, like I said, creating a post that is going to reach 1 million followers. That is really specific to which platform on YouTube. Then measurable. How are you going to measure that? You're going to use Google Analytics to see that you've reached all those followers and maybe they have been shared and the likes are there. Then achievable. Is it achievable at this rate? Is your page just growing? Is it really an achievable goal? If it is not, then that's not a SMART goal. Yeah. Then relevant. Is it relevant to you or to your career at this point? Not everybody is a social media influencer. So if you're not a social media influencer, this goal would not be relevant to you. So your goals must be relevant to who you are in your career, in your life as a person. And then they should be time sensitive. By when? I want 1 million followers, but by when? It could be in the next 20 years, or it could be in the next 3 years. So your goals must be time sensitive. So that's one example.
I've lost it.
SMART, like SMART, SMART.
I wish you started with that.
Goals.
I wish you started with that, because the acronym. Yeah, the acronym SMART.
Yes.
Each letter stands for something.
Exactly.
S stands for specific. M, measurable. A, achievable. R, relevant. T,
time sensitive.
I think now that everyone can remember the SMART.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
So I'll just build on to that, but like what you've said. So once you've known how to create SMART goals, something that is very specific, you don't just say, I want to be successful in 2025. That's not being specific. Mm-hmm. You have to ask yourself a question, being successful in what? Right? Now, once you know the what, then you now go into the measurable. What can I use to measure the success that I've been able to, achieve this? You could say that I want to be a very good swimmer. I want to be a very good competitive swimmer. That's my goal for 2025. And then you say, okay, let me just go to a pool. Let me just take a lap and then time yourself. Begin timing and then go to the other end. And then say probably you took, I don't know about swimming much, but let's say, for example, you took like 50 seconds and then say, okay, my goal is to reach 30 seconds. Right? 30 seconds. So that now that's measurable. Mm-hmm. You say, okay, by 2025, my time to finish one lap is 30 seconds. Now you're measuring. Now, then you have achievable. Is it actually achievable? I think it is. If you probably look at maybe the history of people who have been able to, maybe the fastest lap and things like that, you're like, if they can do it, then they can also do it. Then relevant. Is it relevant to you or is it realistic? I think it is. If it's really relevant, if it's important to you, and set it. I don't think anyone in their right mind would set a goal that's not relevant to them. If it's not, then probably you're just trying to impress people. Mm-hmm. And people out there who are just trying to impress other people and say, you know what? I want also, just because someone in my clique is doing a business, a boutique, let me also just set up one. But it's not important to you, it's not relevant to you.
But it is a possibility. The circle you surround yourself in can lead you to some certain goals. Because if you surround yourself with people who are running boutiques, you're seeing the boutique business. It's in your eyes every day. So now you grow an interest for the boutique business. Then you start setting your goals around that. You're like, right now I'm not running my own boutique, but if I start working with so and so, I'm going to eventually run my own boutique. So you set your goals around that. Now your mind, you breathe boutique. Everything you think boutique, everything is boutique. Yeah.
And then time sensitive.
Yeah. But I have met some people who actually create goals that are not relevant to them. I've met some people.
Yeah, it's a real possibility.
It's a real thing.
It first starts with
Happens.
thinking about it a lot. When I say you're in the boutique business, you're working with someone in the boutique business, it's because you're around those people. Like, you have the time to think about being in a boutique. You have the time to think about working with people in a boutique, dealing with clients who come to the boutique. Like, your mind is around that. So eventually your goals frame around that. And that's the core, like the core of getting a goal. It starts by dreaming about something. Like, think about it constantly. Let it eat you up. Let it fill you up.
Yeah.
Let it be something that's like at the center of it.
Can I just say something? So what you're saying is that you're talking about people who have goals that they eventually begin to grow into.
Yes,
right?
grow into.
Yes, but I'm talking about people who actually set goals that are not relevant to them. They'll just do something just maybe for the sake, and then they won't really put in the work.
It's a possibility because you're trying to get purpose. You sometimes you don't really know yourself very well.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's a very common thing with, like, if you're done with like high school, you're still trying to figure out what you want. Maybe you had an idea, your parents told you, oh, you should be a doctor. And yes, you've always told yourself, I need to be a doctor, but you're now in the real world. Or let's say books are really hard to get by. Now you have to sit down and reflect, see what piques your interest. You sit down, reflect on it. Yeah.
Someone said that their goal is to be rich. And I was asking them, so you're going to be rich doing what? Exactly. So that goal is not even specific at
It's
all.
not a goal.
Another person
It's a
made a
wish.
goal and said,
It's a wish.
yes,
Yeah.
they made a goal and said, I just want to have a good life. My goal in life is to just enjoy and have a good life.
But you know, the goal, I want to be rich, can be like a real goal. Yes, it seems like a wish, but it can't be a goal. It can be something that you look at, and then now you start reading books, you start watching podcasts, you start going for seminars for these discussions, because now it's like eating you up. I want to be rich, and now you have to go through the process, because it's the goal up there. I want to be rich, but now you have to go through the process to get there.
And that's why I'm saying, when you're setting a goal, you can't just say, I want to be rich. When you ask someone, what's your New Year's resolution? This year, I'm going to make money. How? So you have to know specifically how you're going to make that money.
Yeah.
That's specific. Measurably, how much money? Because you want to be rich, but are we talking $1 million?
Yeah.
And are we talking $1 million Uganda shillings? Those are two different things.
Yeah. The biggest problem with such a big, broad goal is that it can demotivate you. Over time, it can demotivate you, because you're yearning to be rich, but after like 3-4 months or even a year, you're not rich. You're not even close to being rich, and all of a sudden you're getting frustrated. You're getting
be realistic about the goal.
The goal is not realistic.
So, for example, I could say, so time sensitive, right? Time sensitive. So, with time sensitivity, you're looking at it this way. So let's just go back to that example I was talking about. Someone wants to be a really good swimmer. So you could say, okay, from January to February, I'm going to be focusing on physical strength, right?
Yeah.
And then you can compound that goal with something else. What do I mean? You could say, in order for me to be a very good swimmer, I probably need maybe to go to the gym and maybe do this many reps. I can even do how many reps at home, in a sense, for arm strength probably, and also leg strength probably, right? So you compound it with something else. Now, then you say from March to June, I'm going to now practice. I've been working my physical strength. Now, from this and this time, I'm not going to now just hit the pool and just swim. I've worked on my physical strength. Now I'm going this direction. So you can phase out the time. So to make it more realistic. So if a person says, I want to be rich, probably they think they're going to do it in under a year. Most likely that might not happen. But you can phase it out. You can say, no, probably my goal is to be rich in the next 5 years. Realistic. Right?
Yeah.
And then say, what am I going to do in the first year? Probably I want to read this many books about, how to be rich and stuff. Then second year, I'm like, I think I should go for conferences and just meet as many people as possible, see what they're doing, that sort of thing. And then the third year, you're like, okay, so I've met people, I've done this. And then let me see what I can begin doing or just getting myself into, in a sense. So you already form the social connections. So a goal, you will begin to compound other smaller goals into it as well. So one goal would be like, I need to increase my social network of people that probably average certain amount of money per month. Because obviously when you also grow your social network, you also have a higher chance of also growing yourself financially as well. But there are also other ways to look at these goals. So with SMART goals, they teach you what goal you're trying to look at, how you're going to achieve it, where are you going to achieve it as well, right? Now, the other aspect is having what they call OKRs. So that is objectives and key results. That's what it basically is, right? Objectives and key results. What do I mean? So let's just go back to that example. I want to be a very good swimmer. My objective, 2025. So pick out the top 3 things, because sometimes when you have too many goals, you end up achieving nothing. So in 2025, what are the most important things to you? So you can first start a list of 20 things that are important to you. Chop off, make it 10. Chop off, make it 5. And then chop off and make it 3. Only 3. Focus on only 3 things. Once you get that, then you say, okay, all right, so these are my top 3 objectives, 2025, or goals, 2025. And then say, okay, what are the results? So you now start with the end in mind. You say, this is my goal, and this goal is going to lead me to hitting, let's say, $1 million. That's my key result, right? And then there's something called a metric. A metric is something that you use to measure. It's just simply another way of saying SMART goals, but you're approaching it from a different angle. That's all you're doing. Because at the end of the day, $1 million is specific, and the key results teach you to be specific. A key result is measurable. You say, how rich? $1 million. Very good swimmer, I should be able to perform laps in under 30 seconds. That's measurable. What metrics are you now looking at? Metric number 1. So the metrics leading to the key result. Metric number 1, I should have maybe increased my bicep circumference by, let's say, like 2 inches. Okay, that's too much. That's the
2 inches.
Yeah, so let's say like 2 centimeters, right?
Yeah.
So 2 centimeters, right? So that means, that metric shows that I've increased in upper body strength, my arm strength. The same thing also for my thighs and my legs. Now those are metrics. The metrics feed into the results, and then you have your goal. So if you approach it from the end in mind, then you'll be like, oh, so it becomes more realistic. But so the thing about OKRs is that don't put too many goals and objectives. Just pick out the most important 3 things. That's all you need. Even if you have a company or a business, whatever you're trying to do, just pick out the top 3 things. Remember what we said, the 80-20 principle. 20% focusing on the most important things will give you 80% of the results that you need at the end of the day. Not everything is so important.
Yeah. Absolutely. And also remembering that there are short-term goals, intermediate, and then long-term. Short-term goals are things that you can achieve within 3 months. And then there are those that are intermediate, which you can achieve within maybe a year or 2 years. And then there are the long-term goals, which are 3 years to 10 years, even 20 years. So understanding where your goal fits will help you to manage your expectation, because being rich probably is a long-term goal. it's not a 3 months project. So if you're not reaching in 3 months, you're not going to have an emotional meltdown because you've understood where your goals lie. Yes.
You're very realistic about it.
Once you're able to measure and give yourself a desired time period, it allows you to even be lazy because you know, as long as I can meet this goal, I can allow myself to sob a bit when times get hard, because the times are going to get hard. Like, there's no doubt. There are going to be times where you question your goal.
Yeah.
But it's a goal you've set for yourself. It's, as long as it's achievable, you see it can be reached. Once these hard times come, give yourself room to sob. Give yourself room to get lazy a bit. You know, take off a day or two and just be free. And then once you're re-energized, and also when you're taking off a day, when you're sobbing, think about your goal. Be thinking about it. Watch videos, watch discussions, listen to podcasts on that thing that you want to achieve. Because I think there's like podcasts and videos for anything. Yeah, you want to become a better doctor. You can watch videos on people who are doctors. Like, just as you're giving yourself time to rest, and I see that a lot in myself. If I have no motivation to do something, I'm going to be on my bed just lying, scrolling TikTok or scrolling Instagram Reels, but my feed is optimized to give me content around my field, around the things that I'm interested in. So as I'm there busy just scrolling, I'm re-energizing, like I'm giving myself room. I'm gaining different perspectives from different people. And with those perspectives, it's something snaps in my head, and all of a sudden I'm motivated. I'm like, okay, let me get a video done. Let me get this edit done. Yeah. So that time that I'm giving myself to rest, it allows me to just achieve my goals. Yeah. Yes, I might be encroaching on my time management because I've given myself a certain metrics, maybe a timetable to follow, but now I'm going against the timetable. Yes, sometimes
the timetable should include rest.
Okay, for rest, you can't know when you're going to get an emotional breakdown. You just can't know. But when it comes, it's not often, it's not every time. But when it comes, at least read it. Okay, yes, read the signs. I'm getting to my edit, but I'm making too many cuts. I'm talking as an editor. I'm making too many cuts, or the story isn't connecting. You know what? This is a sign. Let me give myself distance. Let me go. Let me rest. Let me lie down. Let me scroll TikTok. Let me get motivation. Let me watch a video, a vlog, someone vlogging, and then eventually, like, things just click. And then once you feel energized, you come back, and as you've been watching other people's vlogs and been listening to other people's discussions, you're also like, your brain is expanding in a sense. So now you're getting new ideas, and when you come back and you look at your project, you watch through the project, you watch through the edit. Oh, this cut shouldn't have been here. It should have been that side. I saw this guy's video. He did something similar, and it connected. It clicked. So yeah, just as long as you have a measurable time, when times hit, when moments get hard, you can always get back on track when you just give yourself time to rest and sob a bit. Yeah. Okay.
And also one last thing, we need to do the monitoring and evaluation of these goals.
Yeah.
So at the end of every month, if you're, maybe let's look at a 1 year goal. At the end of every month, or every week, as frequently as you can do it, but realistically, maybe every month, you sit down, you go back to the goal and say, have I achieved this result? How are my followers now? For like, if you're a content creator, are the followers increasing? Are the likes increasing? Are people enjoying it? So you have to go back and evaluate on a regular basis to see, what do I need to change? What do I need to improve? What do I need to adjust so that you keep on track?
Yeah.
I think with mentoring evaluation, what you've said is very important, because I'm also been a culprit of this as well, that when I spend too much time planning and working on a goal, sometimes I forget to actually sit back and say, oh, what did I want to achieve? Am I actually on track, or am I behind track? So it's very, very important. Also, just lastly, as you're talking about allowing yourself to be lazy, I don't think it's being lazy, but I think you're just allowing yourself time to pace yourself.
I think lazy is a lot easier to take in than the logical term phase. Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I say I allow myself to be lazy, then yeah, I can be lazy and just be comfortable about it and not be too logical about it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but that's been it for this discussion on setting goals. I hope you picked out something. If you've liked the video, if you've enjoyed the video, like the video, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. Actually, subscribe to the channel. Thank you.